student movement, whether it's the growing contingent of young adults and students at CPAC, or the rise of alternative conservative papers on campus, or the rise of Young America's Foundation, will have an impact on the sort of environment on campus?
I don't know. Like, the idea of being like a young college Republican is just so deeply terrifying. Like, what went wrong in your life that this is what you're doing as a 19-year-old? I honestly don't know how to answer that because I follow that, like, not at all. I was just politically completely indifferent in college. But look, from the little I observed, you always get, like, on any campus, your 100 or so young Republicans, and then your X number of, like, trendy leftists, and then everyone else just doesn't really give a damn, which is one of the glories of the American educational system. So I don't see it having that much of an effect. That being said, let me make a sort of tangential point, which it might be relevant. The Jewish world, the organized Jewish world, basically has two sides. One is the world that is sort of about Jewishness, like birthright. It's like discovering an aspect of your Jewish identity. It's positive. It's, or federation, like being charitable giving in the Jewish world, or Aish, or, all this stuff, whatever it is, it's about that. There's one side. And then the other side is essentially the Jewish world fighting against anti-Semitism. So that's, or making the case for Israel and fighting its enemies. So that's like ADL and Camera and the Israel Project and the David Project and the, I don't know, whoever else project. Every rich Jewish donor who, just wants to fund a cause that's standing up to anti-Semitism. All that is great. It's important. It's necessary. But there is not a lot in the organized Jewish world which is geared towards the Philo-Semitic Gentile world. And actually, that's a huge world. And, classic case. So I'm at some synagogue in Cleveland, and I'm giving a speech to like the usual synagogue crowd of like middle-aged elderly people. People show up for shul. And there's a reception kind of like this before my speech, and there's this one young Chinese woman who makes like a beeline for me. So, comes up to me, introduces herself. I forgot her name, but she's from Shanghai. She's getting her MBA at Case Western. So I said, what brings you to this night's event? She said, we Chinese people know. Jewish people, smartest in world. And I said, well, I don't know about that. I mean, there are a lot of smart non-Jews, Chinese, Indians. No. Jewish people, smartest in world. Nobel Prize in Medicine, 42%. Nobel Prize in Chemistry, 33%. Nobel Prize in Physics, 37%. I'm probably not doing justice to her accent, but it was a very, pronounced accent. And I was just standing there, like, half embarrassed, like, no, we're not smart. We're really stupid, really, honestly. Anyway, the reason I tell that story is because, China, this minor, insignificant country of 1.3 billion people, rising global power, there's a hell of a lot of Philo-Semitism in that country. Now, sometimes that's just based on taking anti-Semitic stereotypes and giving them a positive gloss, like, Jews, good in business, yes. But, South Koreans will often say, we're the Jews of Asia, because we care about education for our children, and we're academically excellent, we're entrepreneurial. Indians, another billion Indians, overwhelmingly, basically pro-Israel. Now, that's in part a function of Indians who hate Muslims, and so it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of deal. We don't do a lot to reach out to them. I get sent, various groups send me to college campuses. I go and speak University of Pittsburgh, University of Michigan, Columbia. I wish someone would send me to, like, the University of Nebraska, where I don't have to, like, fight a battle to make the case. You asked about the, college battles political battles on college campuses. What I'm saying is we ought to be reaching out to a large constituency of young people who don't necessarily have skin in the game, and they're persuadable, and they might just be interested, and you might just be able to do something positive with them that will have an impression for the rest of their lives. And finally,